Hi again then guys, so I've got another GranTurismo 6 top speed tune for you today, and this time it's for the Mercedes SL500, and this is the R230 series SL, which is the newer shape. So you want racing soft tyres as usual. For suspension we've got the ride height on 100 front and rear. Seems relatively high, but it allows the suspension to really take up the slack in the corners, and it also just looks better to me. So you don't have to do it, but that's what I've gone for. We've tightened up the springs a little bit to 650 and 750, dampers and anti-roll to 4, camber on 2. You may want to put it up to say 2.5 depending on how much draft you plan on using this car for. Neutral toe as always. For the gearbox you want the highest possible auto setting. Then for the individual gears we've got 30-60, 18-30, 12-55, 9-23 and 6-80. With a final drive of 2.4. For the diff, same as usual, the lowest initial torque, high acceleration and low braking sensitivity. All the power upgrades obviously, and although I haven't fitted it, I would recommend NOS, and as with all Mercs, you definitely want weight loss. Traction control is also turned off as always, and for this tune I will actually be using an auto box, which I usually don't. And the reason for that is because with these big, more powerful Merc tunes, especially the SL series, you really do need to use a manual gearbox to get the best out of them. Because in order to get the best speeds out of these cars, you have to use extremely long gears. And with those extremely long gears, if you do leave it in auto, the car doesn't change at the right time on its own, so you'll stay stuck in 4th gear for instance, instead of changing up to 5th and getting that extra speed. So with the SLs, the SL500, SL600, SL65, SL55, I would always recommend using a manual gearbox to get the best out of it. Now as far as overall performance, the SLs are extremely strong cars. Obviously the SL65 is one of the quickest cars in the game. The SL55 is often overlooked but is also very fast. The SL600 is even more overlooked but is almost as quick as the SL65, just more understated visually. And the SL500s tend to get overlooked because although they're good, why would you buy an SL500 when you can have 200-300 horsepower more from the 600 or the 65? But that said, for its power, this SL has very respectable performance. As you can see, a cruising speed of just under 260, and considering how much less power it has than the other SLs, it's very impressive performance wise. As you can see, you are miles away from the red line, so there's tons of draft potential. You should be able to easily slipstream this car up around the 300 mph region or more. So it's a very strong draft contender, especially for its power class. It's one of the quickest vehicles in the sub 700 horsepower category. Not necessarily the quickest, but one of the quickest. And it handles extremely well as well, which is one of the great things about all the SLs. They do have very, very smooth, easy to drive handling. The only downside to them is to get the best top speed, obviously you need very long gears, which does hamper their acceleration off the line. But overall, all of the SLs on GranTurismo, from the 500 to the 65 and everything in between, are brilliant cars. And if you haven't tried any of them yet, I would recommend you try at least one of them because they are very, very good. So I hope you guys who use this tune find it helpful. If you did, feel free to subscribe. I put out new top speed tunes every day. And as always, thanks for watching.